Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And to begin for the show today, we're going to talk about Colin Cowherd in his top 10 list of his quarterback head coaching duos, the best quarterback head coaching duos. He first begins with the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. No disagreement there. But then it goes south real quick. Like, he puts Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. Because they won a Super Bowl, maybe. But they went 6-10 last year, and Matthew Stafford did not play well. The team was awful. I just don't see it. Why are they number 2? But then it gets even worse somehow. It goes and says Sean Payton and Russell Wilson are number 3. They haven't played or coached a game together. Russell Wilson was awful. Sean Payton was in the Fox, was working for Fox. And a lot of people have asked this question. Sean Payton's a better coach than Mike McCarthy. They have similar resumes. Their resumes are very similar. Sean Payton hasn't won anything in about 15 years. And Mike McCarthy, roughly the same amount of time, about 14, 15 years it's been. But they had roughly the same amount of playoff success, the same amount of wins and losses. The percentages are the same. Peyton's are just slightly better, but it's not much better. But Russell Wilson played terrible in Denver, so you can't put him on this list. That doesn't work. It's not a fair estimate because they haven't played or coached together. Next up, Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. 1 year they've played and coached together. It was better than the year with Urban Meyer, I will give you that. But 1 year, I don't agree with that one. Now we start getting into the real ones. John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. Yes, they've had playoff success. They haven't won it all yet, but that could happen if they just give Lamar some more weapons. John Harbaugh has been a great coach with Lamar. That system perfectly suits him. It makes sense. Why they are at number 5, that makes no sense to me. Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. Why are they not higher on this list? Joe Burrow has been to a Super Bowl with Zach Taylor. Sure, it didn't go the way they wanted, but they should be higher on this list. At least 3rd, if not 2nd. Then it goes Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Again, they went to a Super Bowl. They've done this. They didn't win, but they had one of the more prolific offenses, just didn't win the Super Bowl. They were there, but they didn't win. They could easily be, like I said for Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, 2nd or 3rd on this list. They'd probably be 4th, in my opinion, but they would be very high on this list. Then it goes to Sean McDermott and Josh Allen. Yes, as the number 8 spot. Yes, not the best spot for them, but yes, on this list because you've seen what McDermott and Allen have done together. They haven't gone to a Super Bowl. They have not won a Super Bowl, but they've been great together. They've been to the playoffs multiple times. They've won multiple playoff games, but they've got to find a way to keep it together and not allow the outside noise to trickle in and affect what they're going to do on the field. Because the last time we saw the Bills play, they were not good. They looked bad. They looked flustered. They were in their home habitat and they lost badly. Next, number 9 on this list is Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. They should be on this list. They've been together about 4 years now. This will be their 5th year together. I'm counting the seasons, I'm not counting the years. This would be their 5th season together. They've had won a playoff game together. They've won, well, 4th or 5th year. It depends on how you wanna determine it, but they've been together, they've won a playoff game together. They've had the most prolific offense have one of the most prolific offenses. Yes, Mike McCarthy's calling the plays, but they deserve to be on this list. More so than Sean Payton and Russell Wilson do. And number 10 is Mike McDaniel and Tua. Again, 1 year, and we're saying that to the top. That doesn't add well, or that just says that there's not a lot of good coaches or quarterback duos in the NFL. So that's what Colin Cowherd put. I agree with, in no particular order, but I agree with maybe, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, maybe 7 out of 10, and that I would reorder it too. It to me, it would go Reid and Mahomes 1, Taylor and Burrow 2, Sirianni and Hurts 3, Harbaugh and Jackson 4, McCarthy and Prescott 5, actually, hang on, let me recount, I probably messed up the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, here's how I do it. Reid and Mahomes 1, Sirianni, Taylor and Burrow 2, Sirianni and Hurts 3, McDermott and Allen 4, Harbaugh and Jackson 5, McCarthy and Prescott 6, and Peterson and Lawrence 7. That's how I would do it. But that's me. That's how I would order it. Because Mahomes has won the most. He's won Super Bowls. The others haven't, and therefore are behind. That's how that works. Now, let's get away from the list, and we'll talk about what Micah Parsons said. It's happened a couple weeks ago. Micah Parsons went on, I think he was on a podcast when he said this. It starts getting talked by Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn reveals that Micah Parsons put on weight. Now, Micah Parsons did announce earlier in this offseason that he was putting on weight about 255. He'll go about 250 to 255. He's not gonna go heavier than that because he doesn't he's a 250, 255. But he was doing that to add muscle because he wants, as being a pass rusher, he saw how much it takes, and those bumps and bruises are gonna affect if I don't put on weight. So he put on 250, 255. Nothing crazy. Not like he's adding 30 pounds to just be bigger. Doing it to be so he doesn't get those little injuries that he has to work through during the year. Last year, he was banged up a lot, and a lot of people don't know that. He had an ankle injury. He had a knee injury. He had a hand injury. He had quite a gnarly hand injury, in a matter of fact. He had a back injury. He had a shoulder injury. He played through 'em. He just did. And he was still unbelievably effective, but he was banged up, very much so. So the weight's supposed to help with that. It goes on, per the Fort Worth Star Telegram, that Parsons earlier this month he's going through that a position switch isn't they tried to say he's going into a position switch. That is not 100% correct. He's going to be doing the things that he's been doing the last 2 years, which are gonna play defensive end, gonna play line I'm gonna play linebacker, or as he calls the linebacker because he's not one position. I'll play over the guard, I'll play over the center, I'll play the tight end, I'll do these things. And Carson said to The Athletic, "We're doing a lot of special things. I don't wanna give a lot away right now, but it is going to be really cool. It's gonna be a really cool year. I'm probably going to play, like, 8 positions this year. Don't even ask me which ones, just stay tuned. Everything that's in the front 7 and some coverage, I'm going to do it all. This is gonna be the year to remember for sure." Now, just hearing that sounds like they're gonna go back to what they did in year 1, which was Micah playing several different positions. Box linebacker, outside playing both outside linebacker positions, playing some middle linebacker, blitzing as a blitzing linebacker, playing off the edge, playing some coverage, doing various things that are going to help the team out. Micah Parsons made some headway earlier in the offseason when he said, "I'm not just going to prioritize sacks. I'm off the sack wave. I want to prioritize impact." And the media outlets took it as he doesn't want to get sacks anymore. If you actually paid attention to what he was saying, he said, "I want to make the impact that Aaron Donald makes, where he gets 12 sacks a year, but he forces everything. He forces what the offense is going to do. The offense is forced to do something he wants to happen. They're going to get the ball out much quicker on defense." That's what was always happening to the Cowboys. That the defense was not getting the ball as because the ball was getting out so fast they couldn't get it at the quarterback. He's gonna say, "I'm gonna force this and force you to throw I want the ball to be thrown to." And that's gonna affect a lot. But that's what he was saying. Nothing like, "Oh, I don't want sacks anymore." You see Aaron Donald get like 12 and a half sacks a year, but his impact is so much more than that. Parsons' defensive coordinator Dan Quinn affirmed his star's experimental desire, elaborating on how this part of the offseason is all about trying new things. Quote from Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys: "I thought were only at a one position," as he joked to CBS Sports at Cowboys minicamp. "My job is to help find matchups, Micah and others, to put guys in spots where we can really allow them to rip and kick." I'm gonna paraphrase to what he actually said. "That's been my goal all along. We've got a lot of unique players, how we can feature safety Donovan Wilson, safety Jerron Curse, as he calls JK, Micah, Dorrance Armstrong, and others. We like to move them around and put them into different spots. We're not going to ask someone to do something that they have never done or haven't been ready for. This is a good time to explore that." They go on at saying how Micah was 6'3", 245, and they go in about why he was going and gaining some weight, but nothing insane. But that's what Micah's talking about. He's like, "I can do these things, so let's do them." And I agree with what Dan Quinn said. Why why go and do something we're not that the guys are not comfortable in doing? Let's have them do something by that they know what they can do, and let's put a defensive end in the middle of the guard and center, let's put a linebacker in the middle of the defensive line and see if we can fake a blitz or whatever. That's what they're trying to do. It's smart. It's very smart. Moving on to let me see if I can find it. If I can't find the initial tweet, I remember it. But according to Adam Schefter, I just want to make sure I get the name down perfectly. I bel I believe I have it right, but the Colt according to Adam Schefter, he went and said that according to the NFL, it's likely, very likely, that Isaiah Rodgers, who plays for the Colts, amongst others, will face a year-long suspension. I just wanna make sure I have the tweet if I can or cannot. Okay, I can't seem to find it, but I thought that was very interesting that the NFL chose to go that way when they previously decided with the Lions, even though there are a lot Lions players, to potentially like some of the line there's 2 Lions players that got 6 games, everyone else got a year long and got cut. That seems to be where the NFL's trying to say, "Okay, we're not dealing with this anymore. We're done. Let's go." Next up, the NFLPA has elected, I should say, not appointed, elected Lloyd Howell to succeed to I should this is worded very weirdly, to succeed Demore Smith as executive director. And it says, for just the 4th time in their history, the NFL Players Association, the labor union, has elected a new executive director, announcing Wednesday that businessman Lloyd Howe will be the next new executive, taking over DeMaurice Smith's position by the end of 2024. Howe was recently known as the chief financial officer of Booz Allen Hamilton, a consulting firm advertising work with public and private businesses, government, and military organizations. He retired from his CFO post in December of 2022 after a 34-year-old run with the company. Technically, Smith can remain the executive director into 2024, but it's possible that Howe will take over before then. Smith has held the position since 2009, where Gene Upshaw held it from 1983 to 2008, and Ed Garvey from 71 to 83. The NFLPA began its search to replace Smith last winter. Howe's name hadn't been publicly floated as a candidate to take over of the Board of Player Representatives, comprises of all 32 teams, voted to confirm or as the new director. He will work alongside current and retired current president and retired center J.C. Treader. It goes on and says that Smith's tenure atop the NFL player is perhaps best known for coinciding with the 2011 NFL lockout. The director helped negotiation in the current collective bargaining agreement, which followed a months-long work stoppage during the 2011 offseason, which free agency was delayed until July, where owners and players worked toward the new CBA. So basically, in layman's terms, they got a new director in charge so they can, because the players have admitted, the NFL players have admitted that the one thing that they want, because the players don't have insurance after 5 years, because that's when they're deemed no longer eligible for it. They wanted to get rid of it apparently at one of the CBA hearings. So, stand it. The players have voiced their frustrations about how these CBA processes go, but you can understand why they think that way and why how would be their choice of how can we do this and get what we want in return. Next up, Brock Purdy is remains on track to start the year and start the week 1 and is reportedly heading to Jacksonville to throw this week. Purdy is coming off basically an accelerated version of the Tommy John surgery, in which it has reportedly gone very well, and we'll see what happens. Next up, the Miami and Kansas City Chiefs ticket sales in the Germany game sold out in a record time, as this game is the first game NFL game they're gonna do in Frankfurt, Germany. They sold out in 15 minutes. That's how quickly they sold out. The NFL has the week that game between the Dolphins and the Chiefs is week 9. And they go on and on about how this is the first game in Frankfurt as the Seahawks and Buccaneers played in Munich, which was quite a unique atmosphere. As if you remember, the fans were singing "Sweet Caroline" at the end of the at the end midway through the fourth quarter of the game. They were singing "Sweet Caroline." You could tell that they were having a good time. So I like this idea of let's try to expand our league and try and show different cultures that this is what the NFL is about. We're trying to show people that this matters. Next up, two final things that we have to mention. 2023 training camp schedule, start dates, and locations for every team. Let me see if I can find it. Just a graphic. Okay, here we go. Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals, start July 26th, which was 2 days ago. In Glendale, Atlanta started yesterday. Oh, I know. Excuse me. Arizona starts July 26th. It's a little less than a month away in Glendale. Atlanta starts July 27th in Flowery Branch, Georgia. Ravens start July 18th. That's when the rookies come in. And July 25th are the veterans in Owing Hills, Maryland. It's a very worded title. Bills start the 26th in Rochester, New York. Panthers start July 22 for the rookies, July 25th for the veterans in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Bears start 25th of July in Lake Forest, Illinois. Bengals July 26th in Cincinnati, Ohio. Browns July 22 in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Cowboys start 24th in Oxnard, Cowboys, Broncos July 28th in Centennial, Centennial, Colorado. Lions 29th in Allen Park, Missouri. In Allen Park, Michigan, I'm sorry. Packers start the 21st for the rookies, 25th for the veterans in Green Bay. The Texans has not said anything, but it's in Houston, Texas. The Colts the 26th in Westerville, Indianapolis. Chiefs the 23rd in St. Joseph, Missouri. Raiders, we don't know, but it's in Henderson, Nevada. Chargers the 24th in Costa Mesa, California. Rams in Irvine, California. That's on the 25th. Dolphins the 30th in Miami Gardens. Vikings the 29th in Eagan, Minnesota. Patriots the 25th in Foxborough. New Orleans Saints the 17th for the rookies, 24th for the veterans, and this is a very strange title. Metairie, Los Angeles. Giants in East Rutherford on the 26th. The Jets and Florham, New Jersey. Eagles the 25th in Philadelphia. Pittsburgh 26th in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. 49ers have not given an idea, just in Santa Clara. Buccaneers the 30th in Tampa. Titans the 25th in Nashville. And the Commanders the 27th of July in Ashburn, Virginia. And the preseason kicks off August 3rd between the Jets and the Browns in the Hall of Fame game. So that is all that. Now, to final of the day, we talk about ex-quarterback Ryan Mallett, who passed away yesterday at the age of 35 in a drowning accident. Mallett broke every major passing record when he was with the Arkansas Razorbacks, excuse me. He was pronounced dead after being transported to a local hospital. First responders called it in at the beach at 2 p.m. when a group of people nearby the sandbar were struggling to make it back to the shore. Once he was brought back to the beach, Mallett was unresponsive. He wasn't breathing, according to a lifeguard. Life-saving measures were immediately undertaken, but he was pronounced deceased at the Destin Emergency Room. Mallett began his career at Michigan, transferred to Arkansas after his freshman year, emerged as the star of the Razorbacks in 2009. The NFL put out this statement: "We are shocked and saddened by the passing of Ryan Mallett." That was the Arkansas statement that was posted to Twitter. He was a Razorback legend with a larger-than-life talent and a personality to match. He led our program to some of our best moments in recent memory. He will be missed by everyone who knew him. Our thoughts and prayers are with his mother, Debbie, and his extended family. The New England Patriots went and said, the New England Patriots are deeply saddened to learn about the sudden and unexpected passing of former quarterback Ryan Mallett. Our thoughts and prayers are with Mallett's family, his former teammates, and all who mourn his loss. Mallett turned to coaching after his playing days were over. He was preparing to be the head coach of Whitehall High School in Arkansas. It just shows you don't know how much time you have on this world. So just make sure you tell everyone that you love them every day you can, because you don't know if that day will be the last one. For NFL, I'm Jacob Hebert.